Tonight on Beach TV News, Donald Trump is one step closer to shutting down the Department of Education. We take a closer look at what students think and how it might affect student loans. Plus, a measles outbreak is quickly spreading and on a path to become a nationwide epidemic. 19 states are now impacted. Could your state be next? And a homecoming months in the making. How did a week-long trip to space turn into 9 months? All that and more coming up next.
Beach TV News starts now. Welcome to this edition of Beach TV News. I am Liz Hanna.
And I'm Ivan Ruiz. Beach TV News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Long Beach. We begin tonight with additional steps the Trump administration has taken to dismantle the Department of Education. President Trump has signed an executive order to restructure the Department of Education. The president claims this move will return America's education infrastructure back to the states for oversight. The change is expected to impact underserved schools nationwide that rely on federal aid. President Trump also announced that the Small Business Administration will oversee student loans and grants moving forward. It's unclear whether Pell Grants will continue to get funded. The executive order is now being contested in a lawsuit filed on behalf of multiple teachers' unions.
With some big changes coming to the Department of Education, students have plenty to say about it. Spoiler alert, the grades they're giving these changes, definitely not passing. BTVN reporter Tanisha Bukad asked around and got students' reactions.
Thanks, Ivan. Imagine if the government decided to change the way your school was run. How would that impact your future? Well, the students here are feeling uneasy about the latest move by the Trump administration.
It's kind of concerning because I know there's a lot of flaws in it.
For students who rely on government support, the big question isn't just what's on the test, but will I even have money for school?
It'll definitely make it a lot harder to either finish school or access it at all, since tuition is already super high. So changes to funding would definitely hurt students like me.
Money for school used to come from the Department of Education, but soon the Small Business Administration could take over, and students aren't sure it's a smart investment.
They're not used to handling that much money or that much involvement in student loans or issues, so I think it would be very
And beyond that, some students worry about who these changes will impact the most.
I feel like it's not just them; it's also everyone who was involved, and that's also students who are children of immigrants.
One thing is clear: students aren't just studying history; they're watching it happen. And depending what happens next, they might be the ones to write the next chapter. Reporting from Long Beach, I'm Tanisha Bukad, Beach TV News.
Beyond the Department of Education, massive changes keep barreling in, but a couple of political activists are hitting the road and speaking out. Plus, a California judge finds himself in hot water after a video he released backfired. Our reporter Cynthia Mazariegos is here with more. Cynthia?
Thank you. President Trump's administration is facing debt. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has joined forces with Bernie Sanders, and a California federal judge uploads a YouTube video against a California court decision.
President Donald Trump's administration will be paying $671 million owed to completed work for foreign aid organizations after the Supreme Court ordered the administration to release funds. The total debt to organizations in and outside of the litigation for their completed work is close to $2 billion. This decision comes after 1,600 USAID workers were fired and some placed on leave. U.S. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Bernie Sanders have been attracting crowds at their joint campaign where they emphasize the fight against oligarchy. Both Sanders and Ocasio-Cortez are against the idea that the government is influenced by billionaires. Ocasio-Cortez says the fight is not just against Republicans and urges Democrats to push on progressive policies. Sanders told a crowd at Arizona State University, "We will not accept a society today in which we have massive income and wealth inequality." Both Ocasio-Cortez and Sanders encourage people to keep fighting. A California federal judge is under fire for uploading an 18-minute video handling guns. Judge Lawrence Van Dyke recorded himself dismantling half a dozen firearms wearing his judicial robe. Van Dyke opposed the decision to uphold California's ban on magazines that hold more than 10 rounds of ammunition. Van Dyke says he made the video because his colleagues lack the basic familiarity with firearms. However, his colleagues think it was improper to upload the video.
As the gun violence debate continues in America, it is no surprise Van Dyke faced pushback in a state that ranks top in strict gun laws. Stay tuned to BTVN's continued coverage on politics and how you could be affected. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Cynthia. Have plans to visit a national park? You might consider postponing them. A policy resulting in staff cuts across America's national parks is sparking concerns about how they will be maintained. Fewer rangers and fewer resources can mean long-term damage to some of the country's most visited landmarks. Here is Beach TV News reporter Nathaniel Marshall with more.
We're here at Joshua Tree National Park, where President Trump's new policy has led to significant layoffs among park employees across the nation, raising concerns about maintenance and conservation efforts. Are visitors still getting the same experience, or is this new policy putting a halt on tourism?
While parks remain open, reduced staffing has led to fewer guided programs, longer response times, and some areas have seen increased wear and tear. Visitors have also noted that fewer rangers are available to provide information, and some facilities may not be as well maintained as they were before.
Me and my family have been going to this national park for years, and now that we're here, I feel like we notice that there's less tour guides available and less resources available. So yeah.
Due to the layoffs, protests have erupted in national parks across the country. Demonstrators and visitors argue that reduced staffing threatens park maintenance, visitor safety, and environmental preservation.
Less employees in the parks is never a good thing when they're already it already seems like the parks are struggling, and then they're taking half the people away. There's no way that can be good.
Departments like the Visitor Center and the Administration Office at Joshua Tree have unfortunately been hit due to the layoffs, unable to provide services to as many visitors as before.
I do not agree with his policies, number one, because I feel like these are public lands, and these are lands that are set aside for all of us to enjoy.
With concerns of government shutdown, park enthusiasts can keep up to date with park information at nps.gov to make sure their plans stay on track.
Right before we did this trip, we were actually worried about the government shutting down and us having maybe some trouble doing what we wanted to do on this trip.
With these ramifications already starting to ramp up, only time will tell how this situation is resolved. Reporting out of Joshua Tree National Park, my name is Nathaniel Marshall, Beach TV News.
Warmer weather is on the way and travel is ramping up, but so is the measles outbreak spreading throughout 22 states and counting. Measles cases have blown up to over 600 so far across the country. The Center for Disease Control is reporting that 95% of the infected are unvaccinated, and 1 out of 6 have been hospitalized due to complications. Texas remains a hotbed of infections with over 80% of cases nationwide, and a quarter of cases in those are over 20 years old. Health officials are urging people to get vaccinated and check their antibodies against this highly contagious disease.
In other health news, January's LA fires left communities smoldering, and now firefighters are wondering what might be left lingering inside of them. Researchers with the Wildfire Conservancy and the University of Arizona are studying firefighters' exposure to cancer-causing chemicals. Blood and urine samples were collected from 300 firefighters who worked the LA fires. Early results found that 42 firefighters had significantly higher concentrations of chemicals and metals in their blood, including chromium, arsenic, and cobalt. The executive director of the Wildfire Conservancy says that levels of exposure these firefighters faced is similar to that of first responders on 9/11.
March has rolled around and typical college basketball madness has followed. The NCAA men's and women's national tournaments are underway. The men's side trimmed their field from 64 teams to 16 over the weekend. The women's bracket is midway through the round of 32. UCLA made the tournament on both sides. The Bruins men's team was eliminated by Tennessee in the second round, but Lauren Betts led the women's team to the Sweet 16. Betts and her teammates will play against Ole Miss on Friday. There haven't been too many upsets so far, but there was a huge buzzer-beating finish Sunday after Colorado State took late lead over Maryland in the men's tournament.
From the out of bounds to the freshman queen who's driving, floats it. Oh! Maryland on the right side of a buzzer beater with life into the Sweet 16.
We'll have more sports coverage after the break. Plus,
stick around to find out how the Lakers and Clippers fared in their recent games. Plus, a surprising update on Pope Francis's health. That and much more coming up.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Can you see anything different as a pill?
No.
You don't know?
Fentanyl is being mixed into everything now. There's only one thing that will save somebody's life. That is naloxone nasal spray.
Fentanyl, it's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
Why would drug dealers put a lethal dose of fentanyl in drugs if they know it's so harmful?
Really just all about the money.
I just didn't realize that one pill could change your whole life.
More kids should know.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Welcome back. University protests continue here at Cal State Long Beach. Activists gather to call for an end to the time, place, and manner policies which have been enforced by the CSU system after last year's protest. Beach TV News reporter Lindsay Towles is live from the protest. Lindsay?
That's right. I'm here today at a protest protesting the TPM policy here at Cal State Long Beach, and that's been implemented across the CSU system. As you can see behind me, there's a fairly large crowd of people here in the Central Quad at Cal State Long Beach, and they're about to start protesting any minute now.
United! Let's do it! United!
Among the issues brought up Thursday was the recent threat of ICE agents on university campuses as the Trump administration continues its push for mass deportations. No ICE agents have been seen on Cal State Long Beach's campus yet, but students are demanding protection and support from the university for the undocumented population. The protest wrapped up behind me here at Brotman Hall after about 2 hours of walking, in which the protesters made their way from the Central Quad all the way down here to Brotman Hall and made their demands known to President Jane Close Connolly. Back to you guys.
And now over to Victoria Franco for the latest world news updates, including some heartwarming reunions. Victoria?
Thanks, Ivan. From controversial deportations to an astronaut mission that didn't go as planned, here's what's going on around the world.
The Trump administration has deported over 200 immigrants to El Salvador, claiming members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua were invading the U.S., even though the administration has not identified the migrants or provided evidence linking them to the gang or any crimes. Those deported are now being held in El Salvador's so-called mega prison, the Center for Terrorism Confinement, which is notorious for its harsh and controversial conditions. The prison is considered the largest prison in the Americas with a capacity of 40,000 inmates, each cell designed to hold roughly 80 prisoners. The inmates are only allowed 30 minutes out of their cells a day and only for Bible readings or lectures. They also aren't allowed any access to activities, books, letters, or visits with their family. Many of them face the possibility that they will never be released. Venezuela's leader has described the deportation of migrants as a kidnapping and denied they are criminals while backing calls for their return. In other news, NASA astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore have safely returned home after an unexpected 286-day mission in space. Originally scheduled for just 8 days aboard the International Space Station, their stay stretched over 9 months due to spacecraft issues including helium leaks and engine failures. And finally, a Peruvian fisherman lost at sea for 95 days has been rescued off the coast of Peru in critical condition. Maximo Napa Castro set out on what was supposed to be a month-long fishing trip, but a motor failure left him stranded. He told news reporters he survived by eating cockroaches, birds, fish, and even sea turtles before being rescued by helicopter and reunited with his family.
These stories remind us of just how unpredictable the world can be. Stay tuned for more updates. Now back to the news desk.
Thank you, Victoria. Pope Francis has returned to the Vatican after a 5-week hospital stay for double pneumonia, but not before greeting a large crowd of well-wishers. The 88-year-old Pope, hospitalized since February, spent weeks on a mechanical ventilator during life-threatening setbacks. But he was strong enough to make his first public appearance upon release, giving waves and a thumbs up to the large crowd anxious to once again see the Pope. Looking noticeably frail when raising his arms and addressing the crowd, he delivered a much-anticipated blessing. The Pope's medical team says he will spend at least the next 2 months recuperating at his Vatican residence.
Let's now go to James Grech for the top headlines in sports.
Thanks, Ivan. We've got plenty to recap. Let's kick things off by taking a look at some of the Rams and Chargers' most recent free agent signings and who they lost.
Here's a look at some of the Rams' key moves. The biggest addition is wide receiver Davante Adams. The team signed him to a 2-year deal worth $44 million. It should help replace Cooper Kupp, who was released after 8 seasons with the Rams. Kupp signed a 3-year, $45 million deal with the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, the Chargers bolstered their run game with the additions of running back Najee Harris and guard Mekhi Becton. The Bolts also re-signed Khalil Mack to a 1-year, $18 million deal, but parted ways with Joey Bosa and his large cap hit. Bosa signed a 1-year deal with the Buffalo Bills. Moving on to the NBA, the Lakers played host to the Chicago Bulls over the weekend. LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, and Luka Doncic all returned after missing time due to injuries. Despite keeping it close in the first half, the Lakers struggled in the second. Doncic played well, dropping 34 points, but it wasn't enough, as Bulls guard Kobe White went off for 36 points and Josh Giddey posted a near quadruple-double. The pair led Chicago to a 146-115 win. The Lakers are now 4th in the West with 12 games left to play. They sit 3 games back from the number 2 seed. Let's now head across town to the Clippers. They narrowly lost 103-101 to the Oklahoma City Thunder in LA. It was a tight game throughout as Clippers forward Kawhi Leonard scored 25 points while shooting 50% from the field. James Harden struggled though, shooting 28% from the field and turning the ball over 6 times. OKC guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander finished with a game-leading 26 points. The loss drops the Clippers to 8th in the West, only 1 game back from the 6th seed.
Also in the world of basketball, a devastating injury hit the Women's March Madness tournament as USC star Juju Watkins suffered a torn ACL. Watkins drove to the basket during a fast break in the first quarter when her right knee buckled after a hard step. Although her teammates went on to win the round of 32 game against Mississippi State, they will be without their leader for the remainder of the tournament. Watkins averaged 24 points per game this season and is a top WNBA draft prospect. She'll have a long recovery ahead before her professional career can begin. And boxing fans around the world have lost a legend. George Foreman, the former heavyweight champion and cultural icon, both in and out of the ring, has died at the age of 76. Foreman first made his mark by winning Olympic gold in 1968 before becoming heavyweight champion in 1973. After a shocking comeback in his 40s, he reclaimed the title, becoming the oldest heavyweight champion in history. Outside of the ring, he was known for the famous Foreman Grill, a true legend in the sport and a figure who was loved by many. Well, that's it for sports. I'll send it back to you guys at the news desk.
Thanks, James. Speaking of sports, the annual Ondaku 5K run recently took place here at Cal State Long Beach. I had the opportunity to join in on the fun. Let's take a look.
The yearly Breaking Fronteras 5K run kicked off Saturday morning in front of Walter Pyramid. Hosted by the Latinx Student Union and the Dream Success Center, the race is an effort to raise scholarship money for AB 540 students who demonstrate financial need or may not qualify for instant tuition at Cal State Long Beach.
This is our 8th annual Undocu 5K. This was born out of political urgency to fundraise scholarships for our AB 540 students here on campus. It's just so important for community to show out. In the past years, we've only gotten 100 or 200 registered, but this year we have 500 and hopefully more from the self-signups today. All the money that we fundraise does not go back to LSU, it goes back to scholarship for students.
Students and supporters explain why they want to help make this race a success.
Unfortunately, right now, undocumented individuals are under attack by the current administration, and that's really awful, and it's instilling a lot of fear in the community right now. And this is our community, this is our family.
The family-friendly atmosphere included local vendors, community resource centers, and even a live DJ who maintained the vibras flowing till the last racer crossed the finish line.
Over 50% of our students are Hispanic, so it's very vital and important we're showing up for the community and we're providing support for the community, especially when some of our community members are in need.
Reporting from Long Beach, Ivan Ruiz, Beach TV News.
It's time for a quick break, but up next.
Coming up, a Hollywood legal battle you didn't see coming. A new twist in the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni courtroom showdown. What's at stake? Plus, a major ruling in the copyright fight over one of Mariah Carey's mega hits. We have the judge's ruling coming up.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how's sketches, ready? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here.
Wait.
What?
I can't drive.
Why?
My.
Oh.
And we're back. The legal drama between It Ends With Us co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is heating up. Lively has filed a motion to dismiss Baldoni's lawsuit, calling it a profound abuse of the legal system. She's also demanding legal fees and damages for emotional distress. This all started in December when Lively sued Baldoni, accusing him of retaliation after she reported alleged sexual harassment on set. A month later, Baldoni countersued, claiming her allegations were false and damaging to his reputation. With both stars refusing to back down, this Hollywood courtroom clash is far from over.
Now let's get more details about Disney's new live-action production, Selena Gomez's comeback, and an update on Mariah Carey's legal fight.
That's right, Ivan. Courts are getting busy with so many legal cases related to films and music. Let's take a look at what's going on.
Selena Gomez has officially made her comeback to music with her new album I Said I Love You First. The album, created in collaboration with her fiancé and songwriter Benny Blanco, is taking over TikTok and music streaming platforms. Fans are praising her comeback, and the attention is slowly shifting from the recent gossip and conspiracy theories involving Hailey Bieber. The narrated version of the album, commenting on the song creation process and the lyrics' meaning, is also available online. While the former Disney star is being praised for her new project, Disney is facing issues with the new Snow White live-action remake that has collected only $43 million after being released. a low number when compared to similar Disney projects, putting the film on track to be the lowest grossing Disney remake to this day. On top of hard production criticism, some fans are boycotting the movie due to Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot's The Snow White and the Evil Queen comments on the Israel-Hamas war. Next in music, Mariah Carey has recently won the copyright lawsuit over her Christmas hit All I Want for Christmas Is You. The judge dismissed the case filed by two songwriters who pointed to Mariah Carey's song as a copy from a 1989 song by Vince Vance and the Valiants. The judge also forced the songwriters to cover part of the costs the singer and her co-writer Walter Afanasieff had with lawyers and dismissed the lawsuit.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to stick with the original version of things. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mariah Carey seems to know that very well, since her songs are still a hit every Christmas. And about the Selena Gomez comeback, I'm so excited to see what's coming next. We will be back with more entertainment in our next show. Back to you at the news desk.
Thank you, Rafa. With a little science and a lot of passion and some seriously green thumbs, Charles Moore has transformed his backyard into a garden wonderland.
Now he's bringing Long Beach together at his Sunday Farmers Market. BTVN's Carla Valdez shows us how this local gem unites the community.
Captain Charles Urban Farms serves the community by providing fresh and organic produce to Long Beach locals. Charles Moore, a longtime scientist who also shares a passion for gardening, grows his own produce at his home since 1974. He also founded Long Beach Organics, which is a local nonprofit that turns vacant lots into community gardens. Every Sunday, he hosts about 10 to 20 people, like Patty Davison, who says it's the highlight of her week.
It fills my heart to come here and to be able to buy locally. And it's so efficient to have local dollars stay into local areas.
His garden is served as an escape from the urban landscape. He grows anything from lettuce, bok choy, guava, tomatoes, avocados, loquats, fenugreek, cilantro, garlic chives, and even innovative plants like this one called pickleweed that is grown in salt water. His most popular items being his homemade guava juice, which is an absolute fan favorite, as well as kale and onions.
That's what I feel like his garden is. It brings people together, and I've seen him pull people off the street. They'll literally pause their bikes if they're riding their bikes by or their cars and hop out. He'll invite them back, offer to make them juice, like pull it off the tree and have them pick their own fruit. Like, I don't know anybody who's doing even anything close to that.
His vision is to create spaces like his garden where people can access organic produce and make health-conscious choices, emphasizing the importance of striving for a circular economy.
Really over 70 years that I've been living here and learning what it's like to live in this geographical location, and that's a rare thing these days for someone to have a sense of place, to know exactly what it's like there, because everyone is so mobile now and everyone is moving so rapidly.
Reporting from Long Beach, Carla Valdez, Beach TV News.
That is amazing. I can't even keep a cactus alive.
I once tried to take care of a fake plant and somehow overwatered it.
Yeah, probably best to leave the gardening to Charles Moore.
And on that note, we end this edition of Beach TV News. I'm Ivan Ruiz.
And I'm Liz Hanna. Remember, you can be a part of the conversation. Head over to our social apps at Beach TV News and let us know what you think about tonight's stories.
From all of us at BTVN, good night, Long Beach.